What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here with The Distance. I got a prediction video for you guys. Jorge Linares versus Rocky Juarez. This is for the upcoming pay-per-view for the fight between Juan Manuel Marquez and Juan Diaz 2. Takes place July 31st. This fight will be on the undercard. Linares versus Juarez. Overall, this is actually a pretty good fight, really good fight, to be quite honest. I think this is the fight that may be opening the show, more than likely. What you get in this fight, you have two fighters actually you have one fighter who's trying to be on the comeback trail after a first round KO loss, and you have another fighter who's pretty much trying to be back on the comeback trail, after kind of somewhat of an embarrassing loss. It wasn't necessarily embarrassing how he lost, because it was a seventh round technical decision due to like a cut, but it was who he lost to was Jason Litzo. And Jason Litzo is kind of known for he's actually known for being knocked out after being cocky in a fight, not having somewhat of a fire mentality. So Linares versus Juarez, what I have to say about this fight. Rocky Juarez, to me, pretty much reminds me of a 15-round fighter in the 12-round fighter era. He's one of those fighters that kind of, towards the later stages of the fight, it just comes and he just applies a lot of pressure, and just comes forward the whole entire fight. And it's not really until later rounds until he really pours it on. I've seen Rocky Juarez in a fight where I believe it was September of 2008. I seen him in a fight. It was on the undercard of Diaz Casillas, I believe, and he came back in that fight, and a fight that he was pretty much losing in. He just kept coming forward and just started to pour it on, finding his openings, and ended up winning the fight by knockout in like the 11th round, the fight he was actually losing. But Rocky Juarez, pretty much other than Jason Litzo, his losses were actually the pretty good fighters. Humberto Soto, Juan Manuel Marquez, Marco Antonio Barrera, and Chris John. All of them are good fighters. So, but the Jason Litzo loss, that's like I said, who he lost to is the embarrassing part about that loss. But it was a fight where I think he was going to start to pour it on towards later stages of the fight. I thought he would knock him out probably in 6 rounds, but it did go to 7. And Jorge Linares, he's pretty much on the comeback trail himself after a loss to Juan Carlos Salgado, lost his WBA Super Featherweight Championship in that fight. And I believe that was pretty much the biggest upset of 2009, the loss to Salgado. Nobody really expected that to happen, because a lot of people had high hopes for Jorge Linares coming into that fight. So anyway, what you get in this fight, first off, if my video doesn't upload, I'm going to go with Rocky Juarez in this fight. But I'm going to break this down to how I think both fighters should do in this fight. Jorge Linares has the advantage in hand speed and I believe power. I believe that in this fight, Jorge Linares is going to have to keep Rocky Juarez at bay, using combinations and using hand speed and using power. Combinations and speed, I believe, are pretty much going to be the key weapons for Jorge Linares in this fight. But one thing that stands out, especially against a Rocky Juarez, the guy who's going to bring you into the later stages of the fight, is Jorge Linares has never been to the 12th round. Rocky Juarez, I believe, is the type of fighter, if there's no cut, I believe Rocky Juarez is the type of fighter that's going to bring him to that 12th round, and bring him to another plateau, and bring him into another world that he's never been a part of. And in this fight, Linares pretty much just has, with Juarez coming forward, and Juarez usually comes forward in a straight line, Linares is going to have to use combinations, use a quick stiff jab or a quick swift jab, or kind of paw with it to set up some power shots, and he's going to have to move. He's going to have to use the legs a lot in this fight. He's going to have to stay off the ropes in this fight. He's going to want this pretty much the center of the ring type affair, and use the jab to set up his combinations, and just simply move around, and just throw power shots and make sure that ring does not get smaller. Use the angles to his advantage. Use angles to his advantage. Use the perimeters of the ring to his advantage. Stay off the ropes as much as he could possibly can in this fight. I think that's a smart thing for Linares to do, especially against Rocky Juarez, a fighter who's gonna bring him to a different plateau. So I think using the legs, using boxing, fundamental boxing, using the legs, quick hand speed. I think all that's going to be a key for Linares to win this specific matchup. Juarez in this fight. Juarez is going to have to cut off the ring very well in this fight. He's going to have to cut off the ring a lot in this fight against Linares. He's going to have to take the range away. He's going to have to use the jab to take the range away. He's going to have to go to the body as well. That head to the chest, beat the body type mentality in this fight. I think that's going to be the key to taking this fight, or catching him with or setting him up with a shot similar to how Salgado set him up. I think he has to use the jab to set him up with some big right hand shots. Countering effectively. I think possibly trying to slip in an uppercut is going to be a key to the fight, and just consistently moving forward. Make that ring become smaller, and also slow him down. Slow him down by going to the body, throwing all kinds of body shots at him. Slip in the body shot as much as possible in this fight, and I think he could take him. And I think if he could pretty much continue going to the body and maintain a decent body attack, not only a body attack but some good shots up top, and getting them on the ropes, use the jab, come forward, set up combinations coming forward using the jab, then I think that Rocky Juarez will pretty much be a lot of trouble towards the later stages of the fight. But I think that Rocky Juarez, I think he has the ability to, like I said, he seems to me to be like a 15-round fighter in a 12-round fighter era. He starts to pour it on in rounds like 6 or 7, sometimes 5, and he starts to build up, find the spots, and pretty much it's all history from there. And I think against a fighter who has never been to the 12th round in his career at this point, at this stage of his career, because pretty much with Linares, he's gotten pretty much only knockouts as a championship fighter, and his last fight was a majority decision. So who knows? Who knows if he's damaged from that loss to Salgado? But I think against a fighter who's going to apply pressure and come forward the whole entire fight, I think Rocky Juarez should win this fight by maybe a 12th round TKO. I think he can stop him in 12. But anyway, guys, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.